Today we're going to learn how to use the pnorm function in R, which will help us calculate probabilities under normal density curves. So let's open up an R script window, and to start, we'll type a question mark and learn a little bit more about this pnorm function, clicking highlight and run. And then under the help tab, you'll see that there are 4 functions associated with the normal distribution. We're going to work with pnorm here today. So let's get started. We will type in our pnorm function, and as indicated by our help tab, we're going to start with our Q value, which is what we call in class Y, which is the value that we're interested in calculating the probability under the area under the density curve, either greater than or less than that value. So let's consider a situation where we are the operators of a ski resort, and we're interested in the snowfall, the base of snow on our mountain. So our Y value, let's say, is going to be 49 inches of snow. We're interested in figuring out the probability that we have 49 inches of snow or less. So we'll start with 49. Then, as we see down here in our pnorm function, we have a mean. So let's say on our mountain we have a mean of 56 inches of snow. And down here, our standard deviation, let's say, is 8. So we have 8 inches of snow for standard deviation. And then down here, we see that the default in this function is that the lower tail equals true. And what that means is, by default, we're going to return the probability under the curve to the left, the lower end. So since we're interested in the probability that there are 49 inches of snow or less, we are going to not add anything else to our function, our code, and we're just going to run it. So down here we find that the probability on our mountain that there are 49 inches of snow or less is 0.19. So now let's consider a situation in which we're working with the same mountain and we're interested in finding out the probability that there are 60 inches of snow or more. So we plug in our 60 inches of snow for our Y or Q, and we're working with the same mountain, so we use 56 for our mean and 8 for our standard deviation again. However, now, since we're interested in the upper tail, 60 inches or more, we need to tell R that the lower tail equals false. So this means it's going to return the probability of the upper tail, 60 or more inches of snow. We'll click run, and we see that the probability of there being 60 inches or more of snow on our mountain is 0.308. So now, what if we wanted to calculate a range, the probability that the snowfall will be in a certain range? Well, let's see if we can calculate the probability that the snowfall will fall, the snowfall on the mountain is between 59 and 42 inches of snow. So we're going to use our pnorm again. This one for 59 inches of snow. And we're going to find the probability that there's 59 inches or less. And then we're going to subtract from that probability the probability that there are 42 inches or less. And that actually returns this range between 59 and 42, that probability. So I highlight it and click run, and I see that the likelihood that snowfall is between those two values is 0.606. So this is how you're going to use pnorm. Hopefully this will be helpful to you while you're doing your homework.